same area that did produce Helene for more tropical development. So we're talking the Western Caribbean Sea and then eventually the Gulf of Mexico. So we are going to be keeping a very close eye on this as we head into the end of the month and into October. Now, this does appear that it could become another Gulf storm, staying within the Gulf of Mexico. So no direct impacts for us here in southeastern Florida on the East Coast, but the West Coast of Florida all the way to Louisiana could be impacted by this next system. So as we fast forward a couple days, we start to see the energy coming together. We get a depression and then eventually a tropical storm by at least Wednesday into Thursday approaching the Yucatan Peninsula. And then from there, things do get a little bit more disorganized with where this could end up eventually. So this will be something that we're going to be watching for you very, very closely. So that is what we know so far. And then, of course, we have another area that we're watching for development all the way out in the Atlantic. I'll talk about that in just a little bit, but take a look at that radar right now. We still have a couple passing showers right around Lake Okeechobee and also Martin County. Drier conditions there from Sebastian down to Vero Beach. A little bit of dry air working its way in, but we're still going to keep the isolated rain chance for you as you make those evening plans on your Saturdays. If we are going to be out and about, just keeping a umbrella around. Could still see a couple passing showers between now all the way through 8 p.m. and then much drier conditions as we get into the nighttime. So still keeping that shower chance in the forecast for you as mentioned, and then low 80s, upper 70s as we head into that brand new day for your Sunday. When I come back, we'll take a look at that future track and what else I'm tracking in the tropics. And this is called the CAG, the Central American Gyre, and this could produce another area of low pressure that could eventually develop into a depression and then a tropical storm and then even further into a hurricane once it does enter into the Gulf of Mexico. So it's something we're going to be watching very, very closely in the upcoming days. It does have about a 50% chance of development over the next several days, so nothing to worry about immediately. But by next Sunday, we could have our next system in the Gulf of Mexico. So we're talking a whole week out. And then taking things all the way out closer to Africa, we have another area that could develop into an area of low pressure, a depression, then eventually tropical storm. And then, you know, the list goes on from there, a hurricane, and then could even become a major hurricane. The next name on the list is Kirk. You have all this moisture right here. And then close by, well, that's another tropical storm that will not impact us here in South Florida. So we have Joyce right here. Computer models take this curve into the north, staying away from the continental United States. And then we have Isaac, a Category 2 hurricane, staying away from the U.S., but it could bring some rainfall all the way out towards Europe. So we are right along with our hurricane name list so far. And we've had two major hurricanes. We had Beryl very early in the season. Just now we had Helene, and then multiple tropical storms and multiple hurricanes. The next two names on the list are Kirk, Leslie, and then eventually we have Milton and Nadine. Keep in mind, hurricane season does run all the way through the end of November. So as we fast forward, you can see our models picking up on some of those winds becoming better organized. We get the depression maybe by Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we could even have a tropical storm or hurricane as early as Wednesday into Thursday by the Yucatan Peninsula. Again, something we're going to be watching very closely in this upcoming week, especially for the Gulf of Mexico. Right now, no models do take this to the east coast of Florida, but we could see some impacts from maybe the Panhandle, the Big Bend, or even as far west as Texas to Louisiana. So anywhere in the Gulf Coast is fair game in the upcoming weekend for this system. So not this weekend, but the following. Back at home, we do have a couple showers and thunderstorms, a couple training showers still right along Lake Okeechobee down south. Mostly drier conditions there, but we have a couple showers bubbling up in the right around the South County area. So as you fast forward, a couple lingering showers in the forecast for this evening. Then we dry things out very nicely as we go throughout the overnight into tomorrow morning. Nice quiet start, but another round of some isolated showers in the forecast. And then we're going to welcome a slightly drier trend here across South Florida and the Treasure Coast. So definitely looking good as we wrap up the month of September.